But right now, one of the annual events that comes up in our area every year, and about this time of year, this is going to be their 11th annual Taiwanese American Heritage Week Celebration. Did I get that all?
That's right.
Good. And with me, I have Yuchi Young, and I have Chungchin Chen with me, and Chungchin comes every year. And we're going to be talking about what's coming up this year. Tell us about, you're both past presidents and your advisors to this. Welcome. This is your first time on the show. Tell us about the event.
Yeah. Your second time?
Yeah. Oh, second time? You've been on before. Okay, good.
Yeah. This group coming from Taiwan, it was from southern part of Taiwan. In the past 11 years, most of the troops coming here to the egg were from Taipei.
Oh, okay.
So this is a group that they travel to the countryside and rural area, and they try to understand. Our southern part of Taiwan is more agriculture oriented.
So it's kind of folk. They get that
Yes.
folk
Yes.
music. And,
Yes,
yeah.
so they visit the rural area to learn their culture, and also their temple, parade, music, and incorporate to the modern elements. And so this is the group of the performance.
And it's called, what is the name of the group?
Takao Run.
Okay.
Takao Run.
And did you bring a video so we
Yes,
can see
we
some?
have about 3 minutes of video.
Why don't we show the video and then we'll talk a little
Okay,
bit more
good.
about
That's
them
a
and
good
the
idea.
event so people will see what they're going to see.
That's good.
Okay. Could you pop that on, please? I think it's coming up. Here it is. It's a big group.
About 30 people, but locally there's a bigger.
Looks like it's going to be a fabulous performance there.
We're going to 11 communities.
Look at Chicago. Oh my goodness. So they're all over. They go all over. Washington, D.C., Atlanta. Oh my goodness. So they tour. They're going to be touring this area.
Canada too.
Yeah, and Canada as well. Now, when is the event?
Well, it will be on May 28th. Happen to be Wednesday. Well, because of the schedule they have, usually we like to have it on weekend, but this year some
Because
difficult.
of the traveling when they're
that's
coming in, right.
So we're going to use the egg as a stage, for the show.
How do you manage to do this free? I mean, it seems to me this is a big expense.
Well, like the Swyer say we get some business co-sponsor.
Okay, so you get sponsors.
Yeah, and the government of Taiwan will probably pay most of the travel costs, but locally we spend some money to sponsor this event. Mm-hmm. It's a kind of a payback to the community.
Isn't it? And not only that, but the idea of seeing another culture and seeing the richness of what you're bringing to our community. Yeah. How large is the Taiwanese community in the area?
Well, Taiwanese people have been in this area for 50 years. Mm-hmm. And we have a small group, about 100, 150 family, And we have two organizations, Taiwanese American Association, which we created 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. And 10 years ago, we created a non-profit organization called Taiwanese American Cultural Society. So basically, we are a small group, but we are very...
You've done a lot for a small group.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I know that we know many Chinese, and many are Taiwanese and Chinese, and of course many of the people from China did go to Taiwan during the war. Was that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
1948.
Yeah, right now the Chinese Association, CCC, is bigger because more people come from China than from Taiwan now. Yeah.
Right. But and how does the Taiwanese culture differ from mainland China?
Well, we inherit the culture from mainland China, but I think Taiwanese people have been settled in Taiwan for 400 years.
Yeah.
During that period, they developed their own.
They developed their
region,
own culture. Yeah.
So a lot of this, show probably don't, appear in China now. So it's only Taiwanese, culture. So yeah.
Well, it's really wonderful that you brought a group like that to our area for people to see. How many people will the theater hold?
Well, the small theater, Swyer theater, only hold 400 people.
So they need to get tickets,
that's
but
right.
they don't need to pay for them. Is that
That's right.
correct? Because to get tickets, how do they get them?
Well, I think the people can call the egg box office, but we also have a 2 telephone number for people to call.
I think we have that right up on the air.
Yeah, the first one you can call 785-4275. The second one is 370-3528. Is local call.
Okay.
You can just reserve, and we'll reserve a ticket for whoever want to come.
Is
Yeah.
this appropriate for all ages?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I
So
think
it'd
it
be a
can
really
be.
great
Yeah.
way to have your kids experience
Yeah.
Yes.
another
Definitely,
culture.
definitely.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you both for being here. Did we miss anything for the show? I mean, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I think this year's program is somewhat different. Dr. Yuchi mentioned that it's come from southern Taiwan. Taiwan used to be an agricultural society, and particularly in the south. So this group kind of is a hybrid, of the modern music with rural area,
Folk
folks.
music.
So
yeah.
it's very interesting,
Yeah, and well, it looks at just looking at the video there, I'm very impressed with the array of types of music that they do with the drumming and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's one program talking about the incense bag, and this is usually I think your mom or grandma go to the temple and ask the blessing from the God, and the kids usually wear this. And this
It's an incense bag.
yes, and it's a bag that wall off the evil spirits and asking.
Do they wear it like all the time, or is that something that they leave at the temple? No?
No.
They wear it all the time. When you take shower, you take it off because it's a cotton.
I like that.
And
That's
then,
a good idea.
yeah.
I think a lot of us need a little something to ward off some.
So this is something I think the temple in the agricultural society, it's holding I think the family and the society together. It's just like the church that you go there and you pray and
It's a part of it, like a
Yes.
rosary almost that you keep.
Yes, that's
and the
right.
interesting thing is that we're looking at red again because the red is such a wonderful color.
Yes,
It's
that
a
is-
celebratory color.
that's right.
Yeah, and
for happiness.
Yes,
and
happiness. Yeah.
Yes.
And you bring me happiness when you talk about
Thank
the
you.
Taiwanese culture because
I'm
it's
glad
such
to
a
be
wonderful
here.
culture. But it's on March. Where did I get March? May 28th
Yes.
over at the Egg. You can get tickets through their
6:30.
box office.
Yeah.
Even though they won't cost you anything, they need to know how many they can put into the
Yeah.
theater.
That's right.
Chungchin Chen and Yuchi Young are here, and we're very pleased to have them both.